One day, a long time ago, more like 200 million years ago, there was a family named Pangaea. They were a close-knit family with one child, his parents, his aunt and uncle, and his grandparents. The only child was named Africa, and he was very special. What made him so special was that he loved his family so much and could not stand being away from them. He surrounded his whole life around his family. The family of Pangaea was always together and inseparable. They couldn't stay away from each other until one day. It was a bright Saturday, and the family had just woken up. North America, Africa's father, gave him a big hug, and when Africa went to hug him back, he realized something was wrong. "You're farther away than normal, Daddy. I have to reach a lot farther today. Are you getting bigger?" Africa asked, quite confused. "Well, I don't think so, Africa, but I might be wrong," North America replied. They both shrugged it off and went on with their day. The next day, South America, Africa's mother, turned to speak to her mother and father, Antarctica and India. After talking for a couple minutes, she too realized something was wrong. "Mother, father, y'all seem a little distant. Have y'all grown?" She too was confused. "Now, honey, I am almost positive that we are no longer growing, unless the earth is changing or something. Maybe your eyes are playing tricks on you," Antarctica, her mother, said jokingly to her father, India. Like Africa and North America, they shrugged it off and went on with their day. 2 days later, Eurasia, Africa's aunt, was resting her eyes when her husband, Australia, suddenly woke her up with a yelp. "What is all the racket, Australia?" she asked angrily. "I glanced over at you and realized something was terrible. You are not as close as you used to be," he stuttered frighteningly. "Oh, Australia, we have never been close together. Settle down," she mumbled tiredly, for they were on opposite sides of the family and had never touched before. However, Australia knew something was wrong and called the whole family together. "I have noticed that something terrible has come across the family of Pangaea. I looked at my wife this afternoon and saw that she was no longer as close as she used to be," he said in a serious manner. Next, South America spoke up. "I realized my parents were distant as well while talking to them 2 days ago," she said with a never-before-seen look on her face. Lastly, Africa spoke up on the matter. "I was hugging my dad many days ago, and I had to stretch a lot farther than normal," he said oddly as well. They were all silent as they took in that for the first time something was wrong. Something was happening. Soon the day came that they had all been dreading. Not even a shout, yell, or scream could be heard from one another. None of the Pangaea members were happy, especially Africa. He was still so young and unaware. He could not take care of himself. He needed a friend, but he was alone, truly alone. But Africa hadn't given up. He woke up every morning hoping to see someone, and finally his wish came true. A ship was sailing in the lonesome oceans that surrounded him. He saw the ship's vague silhouette on a foggy morning. "I think this might be my last day in these lonely waters. I have seen that shape before. It was a long time ago, but if I remember correctly, it was a ship. Oh, geez, I really hope it is. I really do," he said on that morning. He was filled with much excitement. Africa waited all day and night for the ship to come closer, and when it got close enough, he shouted out to it, and the ship started sailing his way. "Over here! Hey, hey!" he shouted at the top of his lungs. The ship docked on his shore, and a tall male stepped out. "Hello, I am Africa. May I ask who you might be?" Africa asked with much happiness. "Hello, Africa. I am Alfred Wegener, and I have been doing many studies about you and your Pangaea family for many years now," he said with a shine in his eyes. "What do you mean?" Africa innocently asked. "I know you are young, Africa, the youngest in your family, and I know you miss your family greatly, but I am here to explain to you why you are not with them anymore," Wegener replied. Wegener tells Africa all about his theory of why him and his family were parted. He told him how the Earth is broken up into rigid plates. He said these plates sit on top of the asthenosphere, which is the soft layer of the mantle. He tells Africa that these plates are moving at all different rates, but at an average rate of 5 centimeters per year. He told him that the most important information is that continents, Africa and his family, ride on these moving plates. Scientists think that these plates move because convection currents drag them along. Convection currents happen when one part of the ocean or other bodies of water is warmer than another part, Wagner tells Africa. Basically, you and your family were once joined together and named Pangaea. However, because of convection currents affecting the tectonic plates, which you ride on, y'all have drifted apart. This whole theory is called continental drift. Africa somewhat understood what Wagner was telling him, but he still didn't understand why anything or anyone would want to separate the family of Pangaea. Africa still missed his family more than words could describe, and when him and Wagner were done talking, Africa suddenly started to cry. "What is the matter, Africa?" Wagner asked sympathetically. "I just miss my family so much, and I just want to see them again. But I never will," Africa cried out. "Oh my!" Wagner yelled out with excitement. "I forgot the most important part." Wagner smiled. "What is it?" Africa asked. "Well, you see, the end of the whole theory is that the continents will keep drifting, and eventually you will be reunited with your family again." Africa was so excited to hear this, he was speechless. A smile spread across his face, and he couldn't wait for the day when he would see his family again. The end.